Animal law. Now, animals are pretty cool. They're interesting coexisting species within our planet, providing variety like tails, wings, fins. While religion could be human-centric, doesn't mean animals can't have a place. Like in the most pivotal of biblical stories, animals play a part. From being part of a creation, plentiful in the Garden of Eden, God literally saves Veach in Noah's flood. Now, I find fixation within animals be interesting, because there's bound to be some rules within animals that kind of indicates who are more trustworthy than others. So I figure that I'd go over that. So for a start, there's a consideration of practicality. How tolerable does living as that animal seem? Take a dog, a very praised animal. Not as capable as the average human, but still some perks. Confined to be 4 legs instead of 2. But could still have some creativity with its paws, and not be the same smarts as humans, but still has a creativity of its own. With how gleeful dogs could be, it would be preferable for some to just be a dog. Maybe this is an extreme example. Still, dogs are great animals, so much so they've been made into various absurd subspecies. Some of them might have questionable existences, like pugs with snouts caved in. At this point, it's made by niche dog breeders that are trying to play God. Only their equivalent is making a functional animal to exist in nature, but something for human satisfaction. Now, getting to other examples of nature, which are a step too far. Take the classic snake. Now, forgetting the whole tricking Adam and Eve thing, what kind of existence is living as a snake? They have no arms, no legs. They're just slithering around on their bellies. Compared to their lizard cousins, at least they have arms and legs to do stuff. Within snakes, you get reptiles at their most poisonous, their most monstrous. Imagine 40 feet of useless snake. So let's consider this. How many legs is appropriate for an animal? Having no legs is a crime, considering you're just confined to crawling around. And too many legs is just unnecessary and confusing. What is wrong with centipedes? I think the range would be 2 to 6. 4 is like the average for most animals, and it's good intermediate. All vertebrates basically have 4 limbs, with our arms acting as legs freed up and walking upright. 2-legged animals evidently matter, since we have 2 legs, and we have birds that are muck. 6 legs are tricky, since it is an extra set of legs, but evidently we have to count some bugs. And it could be seen as 4 legs walking, 2 front legs doing stuff. Also, this makes room for things like centaurs or winged angels with extra wing limbs. Getting past 6 to 8 is too much. Spiders? Oh no. Octopus? What use is your intelligence if you're constantly blown up? Centipedes? Ew. Ew. How do you even control those legs? It's just wrong. Now getting to sea-dwelling animals like fish. That's a-okay. It's different in the water, since water-dwelling animals, you could maneuver the whole water landscape. It's like flying, so has more control than a snake on land. However, we then get to whales, like water mammals. This is when stuff is kind of tricky, because what kind of life it is being a water mammal confined to water, but you need to breathe air. It's baffling from an evolutionary lens, having millions of years of progression on land to suddenly go back to the water. At least a fish has always been in the water, so it doesn't know any better. These guys could hardly sleep, they're perpetual insomniacs. Dolphins are meant to be the 3rd smartest animals behind chimps and humans. But what use is the knowledge? Like octopuses, it's just useless jargon. Whales suck. Now, I figured I'd go into the idea of horns. This is a tricky one, since sometimes it just seems like such a harmless function. And really, sometimes they could just exist. But the devil has horns for a reason, so just be cautious. You could think whether it's harmful to touch, having a pair of impalers be skeptical of. Sometimes the animal horns could grow into an animal, and it's just nasty. Elephants, in their mortal form, one of tusk. Elephants are very worthy animals, being smart, land animal, trunk to grab stuff, very cool. Most hunting animals, like lions or dogs, eventually have to let go of their meat-eating tendencies and not bare their teeth. Kind of way of all things. A porcupine, too many spikes, no touchy. There's a reason in South Park the devil slept with a porcupine. And plants with horns, be wary. I figured I'd touch on the idea of animals with a hive mind. Like animals, ultimately, they should serve themselves, or serve God. So what are some of these guys doing serving the queen? They just have a hive mind to protect the hive. Like, dude, live your life. Don't live for anyone else other than yourself and God. But no. They just have to live for the hive, for their queen. So ants, bees, no go. It's fine to be protective of your young like a lot of animals, but the surface of a queen is just too much. Other bugs could be cool, like butterflies. Eat cool and living for yourself. So anyway, that's my animal notes. I could go into a lot more stuff, straight up chart things out, but I'll just leave it like this. Animals are pretty cool.